And in 9 days, it's Christmas and Jesus' birthday party.
Hey, let's talk about Jesus' birthday. I have three things that I think we should bring up. First, why December 25th? The earliest source that I'm aware of that celebrates Christmas on December 25th is Hippolytus of Rome, who's a Roman theologian. And in that time, it was common to associate important people's date of birth with their date of death. So Hippolytus calculated Jesus' death to have occurred on March 25th. And since the conception of Jesus was so important, as we see in the birth narratives of Matthew and Luke, he attached that day to the date of Jesus' conception. So doing some basic math, he added 9 months to that and concluded December 25th is the date of Jesus' birth. Now, you may hear some people say that Christmas has pagan origins, and they might invoke Saturnalia or Sol Invictus. And there's plenty of scholars on here that have talked about this in more depth than I'm going to here. But suffice to say that these were separate holidays that occurred on different dates, and Christmas didn't just take over these holidays and put a Christian spin on it. The closest we might be able to get to that is Saturnalia, in which perhaps the idea of gift giving was kind of taken from that. But to say that Christmas has pagan origins is a misunderstanding. So you can rest assured that celebrating Christmas is a Christian tradition. Second, I think it's really interesting that Jody mentioned Jesus' birthday party, because I think this is a trend that I've seen in the past few decades, especially in evangelical circles, of celebrating the birthday of Jesus with a cake and candles and the happy birthday song and all that. And I think this is a fun way to see how religions change and evolve over time, as time goes on and societies and cultures change. Updating traditions to be more relevant to the time can be a way to revitalize and keep religions and religious practices relevant. And despite it feeling weird to some, I think some people would feel like throwing a birthday party for Jesus feels odd. I think it's important to know that if we see this as genuine devotion and traditions changing and evolving, I think it's a fun way to make religion more relevant and make more sense in our modern society. And third, what about Christians that celebrate Christmas on a different day? Most notably, I think of some Orthodox traditions that celebrate Christmas on January 7th. And this is primarily due to different calendars and usage. If we celebrate Christmas on December 25th, that's following the Gregorian calendar. And if we celebrate Christmas on January 7th, that's following the Julian calendar. You'll see other traditions do January 6th. I think of the Armenian Christian tradition. And that's generally believed to be the day that the Magi came to Jesus and announced that Jesus was God. So this happens 12 days after the birth of Jesus, and this is where we get the 12 days of Christmas from. But I think it's important to think about how other traditions, other people celebrate Christmas than how we normally think about Christmas being celebrated. And I know I just barely touched on a few ideas here, but learning how others do religion, even if it's your own religion, I think is really important and can be really insightful and fun to learn about. So if you know of any other fun Christmas traditions from Christianity, let me know. I think it's fun to talk about, and I think there's a lot to talk about there. Have a good one.